imagine this scenario, right? It's a Saturday morning. You have finally, after weeks of just aggressive procrastination, decided today is the day.
The dreaded closet cleanout.
Yes, exactly. You're going to clean out your closet. You've got your garbage bags. You're feeling like highly motivated, and you start digging through those weird back corners.
Where everything goes to be forgotten. Right.
And then it happens. You pull out this dusty cardboard box. You open an old paperback book, and you are just hit with that highly specific smell.
Oh, the decaying paper smell.
Yeah, that scent of old paper, decaying lignin, dust. And instantly, all that motivation to clean just completely vanishes.
Because you aren't in your bedroom anymore.
Nope, you were transported right back to your grandmother's living room, sitting on the rug.
Huh?
Or maybe you just pick up your phone to change a playlist, and somehow, by a slip of the thumb, you end up scrolling back through your photo library.
That is a dangerous trap.
It is. An hour just vanishes. You're sitting on the edge of your bed, staring at a picture of yourself from, 5 years ago, laughing out loud at a truly terrible haircut.
A haircut you probably defended with your life at the time, right?
Oh, I absolutely did. But okay, let's unpack this, because that is exactly what we are decoding today. Welcome to our deep dive. We have this massive stack of source materials today. Conversation transcripts, educational dialogues, personal histories.
It's a huge collection.
It really is. And the mission of this deep dive is to explore the architecture of growing up. We're looking at how the places we were raised, those incredibly awkward teenage phrases, and our earliest school days basically build the practical lives we lead today.
Yeah, we're really dissecting the anatomy of nostalgia here.
Exactly, that tug of war between our wild childhood dreams and the spreadsheets we stare at as adults. Because these memories aren't just cute stories. They're the blueprints of who you are.
Right, and what's fascinating here is how we actually frame that past. Before we even get into the timeline of growing up, we have to look at the language of memory.
Oh, the vocabulary is so specific. We literally have cultural rituals for looking backward.
We do. Just look at social media.
Yeah, like hashtag TBT Throwback Thursday. It's like we need a socially acceptable excuse to post a picture of ourselves from 10 years ago.
Or how we talk about music.
Right. You hear a song in the grocery store and you're like, oh man, that takes me back. Or you introduce a friend by saying, oh, we go way back.
It's completely built into how we connect with people. Nostalgia isn't just a solo activity, it's like a social glue.
And the places we grew up totally define what that nostalgia looks like. The sources outline these two vastly different backdrops.
The environmental anchors, yeah.
Yeah, so first you have the small town experience.
Yeah.
Imagine a quiet Ohio town of maybe 10,000 people.
Where everyone knows everyone.
Exactly. You walk 10 minutes to school, you just drop your bike on the front lawn. Parents aren't hovering because there's this implicit safety net.
But the trade-off is zero anonymity.
Done. If you act out at the local corner store, your parents have a full report before you even walk through the front door.
Right. And what's fascinating here is how these early environments actually wire our adult needs.
Yeah, so, neurologically.
Yeah, basically. Compare that small town to the big city experience we saw in the sources.
Oh, right, taking the public bus at 11 years old?
Exactly. The city kid is surrounded by loud traffic, sirens, just massive kinetic energy. Their parks are just tall trees pushing up through concrete.
They have all the anonymity in the world, but they have to be so hyper-aware.
Right. So fast forward 20 years, the city kid grows up feeling most alive, most relaxed. When there's background noise and activity, silence might actually freak them out.
Wow, yeah. And the small town kid?
The small town kid grows up, gets a stressful corporate job, and their nervous system desperately demands silence and nature to de-stress.
That makes so much sense. We literally carry our childhood zip codes in our nervous systems.
Oh, we absolutely do.
And beyond the city or the town, there are these universal sensory memories we all share. Playtime, especially.
The physical touchstones of childhood.
Yeah, like having that one favorite stuffed animal. The sources mentioned a beat-up bear named Brownie or a doll named Sally.
The ultimate childhood confidants.
Right. Or the pure adrenaline rush of hide and seek, screaming, ready or not, here I come, or climbing trees.
Just trying to get as high up as possible.
Yes. Just for that feeling of total freedom, getting above the adult world. And, oh, my absolute favorite, the snow day.
The profound silence of a snow day.
Waking up to that thick white blanket of snow. It's so peaceful. And then, of course, there's the food. Food is like the ultimate time machine.
It's a direct neurological shortcut to memory.
Like standing on a dining chair just to be tall enough to help grandma mix dough.
Yeah.
Get your hands all sticky with chocolate chips for Sunday cookies.
Or the dad spinning pizza dough in the air for Friday pizza night.
Yeah. But, wait, let me push back on this for a second. Because I look at these memories, and I have to ask, was childhood actually this idyllic?
Ah, you're wondering about the filter.
Yeah. Like, is nostalgia just this emotional comfort blanket that filters out all the bad stuff? Because as kids, something as basic as feeding ducks with leftover bread, or, I don't know, riding a red bike with streamers.
It felt like an epic adventure.
Exactly. It felt huge. But looking back, it's just a bike ride. Are we just gaslighting ourselves about how great it was?
Well, it's an optimization. Nostalgia actively smooths the rough edges. If you remembered every scraped knee and every boring Tuesday with perfect clarity, it would be overwhelming.
Oh, so it's like a survival mechanism for the brain.
Exactly. And you have to remember the scale. To an adult, a bike ride is nothing. To a kid, riding that red bike is their very first taste of true independence. The emotion was real, even if the event was small.
Okay, that makes sense. The scale of the world dictates the emotion, which I guess brings us to the first time that scale really expands.
Moving out of the neighborhood.
Right into the crucible of the classroom. This is our first major social arena, where we learn the actual rules of society.
And it is a brutal transition for a lot of kids.
Oh, the sheer terror of the first day of school. You're this tiny kid dropped into a massive building. The sources had this great example of Umar, this nervous new kid in a school of 1,000 students.
All sensory overload.
Complete overload. You've got one kid holding their mother's hand with an iron grip out of pure shyness, and then you have the other kid.
The one who shows up ready for battle.
Yes, the one with the brand new pink backpack. Totally brave, just aggressively sharing crayons to make their first friend.
It's fascinating to see how kids establish social comfort zones
Yeah.
and how they handle that early anxiety.
Which usually comes down to the teacher, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about a teacher like Mrs. Miller. A nervous kid walks in, expecting a hostile environment.
And what does she do?
She offers a warm, genuine smile. That simple act instantly shifts the child's worldview. It literally regulates their nervous system, laying the groundwork for how they approach new social situations for the rest of their lives.
Wow. So How We Network at 30 is based on Mrs. Miller from first grade.
Basically, yes. Teachers have profound power.
They really do. The sources mention Mr. Henderson, this art teacher who told a frustrated kid, art isn't about being perfect, it's about expressing yourself.
That kind of validation changes a life trajectory.
It really does. Or Mrs. Romano, who took a student's essay and read it aloud to the whole class. That gives a kid lifelong confidence.
But there's a flip side.
Oh, for sure. Like the strict math teacher who still causes nightmares 20 years later. Which reminds me of the report cards.
Ah, the original performance review.
Yes, I love that analogy.
Mhm.
A report card is basically a child's corporate performance review. We give 8-year-olds KPIs.
It's conditioning them for the adult workforce.
Totally.
Mm.
And they can be brutal. There's this example of a 1957 report card for a girl named Gillian. It said she needs to concentrate and is intelligent but doesn't use it.
Imagine carrying that label your whole life.
Or the classic one,
Hmm.
good student but talks too much.
Which is so ironic.
Right, because talks too much in second grade gets you in trouble. But at 35, it means you're great at networking and corporate leadership.
Exactly. The classroom demands compliance, not dynamic personalities.
And the way they enforce that compliance is just pure humiliation. Like getting caught passing a note.
Oh, no.
Yeah, passing a note that says, I hate this test. And the teacher intercepts it and reads it aloud to the room.
The ultimate mortification.
Or giving a presentation on dolphins, but you're so incredibly nervous you keep saying the word elephants the entire time.
And everyone laughs.
Yes, and you just want the floor to swallow you.
While those micro moments leave permanent marks, they literally create the boundaries of our adult comfort zones. The kid who said elephants might be terrified of public speaking as a CEO today.
Because the body remembers that shame. So eventually, this rigid structure of elementary school just starts to feel completely suffocating.
Which naturally leads to the rebellion.
The teenage metamorphosis, the messy, dramatic phase of trying to figure out who you are, the awkward phases.
We all had one.
Oh, big time. I want to talk about these phases because they are universally embarrassing. You have the goth phase.
Heavy eyeliner, sad music.
Yep. Wearing dark clothes in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
And then the punk phase. Spiked hair that took an hour to gel. Band t-shirts, safety pins.
And the musical obsessions were intense.
Totally tribal. You had the pop kids obsessed with boy bands like NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, posters covering every inch of their bedroom
That's
walls.
like a proxy war against the grunge kids.
Exactly. The kids in flannel crying to Nirvana and Pearl Jam. But why do we do this?
Well, teenagers are dealing with a massive paradox. On one hand, they desperately want to break out and be entirely unique.
But on the other hand,
On the other hand, they are terrified of being alone. So they want to be unique, but they also desperately want to fit into established school stereotypes.
right, like the rebel, the geek, the sporty kid.
Yes. And because of body image issues and this desperate need to fit in, they end up pretending to be someone they aren't.
Which has to be exhausting. Running PR for your own fake personality.
It is deeply exhausting. They are trying to curate an image while their brain is still heavily under construction.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Did it always used to be like this? Did older generations go through this exact same type of agonizing teenage angst?
The short answer is no.
Really? Because the sources had this amazing account of a mother's life in the 1950s and 60s, and the contrast is stark.
It was a completely different psychological landscape.
Right. Back then, Sigmund Freud's talking therapy was technically a thing, but it was brand new to the mainstream.
People didn't process their feelings.
No. They just, quote, put up with it and tried to get on with life. It was this Victorian hangover of children needing to be seen and not heard.
Especially for young girls.
Yeah, girls were conditioned to be people pleasers. There was zero expectation of a career. You were just supposed to set up a home.
So when the 60s hit, the friction was massive.
The teenagers of the 60s looked at the wartime generation parents and just thought they were boring.
And the parents were utterly puzzled by the teenagers.
Right. Like, why are you screaming and crying over the Beatles? Just calm down.
It was a total generational disconnect.
But even with those shifts, some milestones of independence are universal. Like the first crush.
A huge milestone.
Just sitting in class, staring at a girl named Jessica from across the room, completely paralyzed. Or holding hands with Daniel at a middle school dance.
The stakes feel incredibly high.
And then the ultimate reality, check the first job.
Entering the workforce.
Sweeping floors at a pizza place.
Right.
Right. You do it for the money, but you think the best perk is the free pizza.
Until you eat so much of it, you get sick.
Exactly. You eat so much free pizza, you can never look at a slice of pepperoni again. But eventually, this whole teenage bubble just pops.
The transition into adulthood is rarely smooth.
It's a shock to the system. We leave home. You have the crying mothers in the driveway, the firm handshakes from fathers.
And suddenly, you collide with the heavy reality of adulting.
Adulting, the weight of responsibility. And the sources define this so clearly. What actually makes you an adult?
It's the baseline obligations.
Paying bills,
Yeah.
doing taxes, realizing you actually have to make your own doctor's appointments now.
And living with the consequences of your choices.
Right. If you pick the wrong career or a bad relationship, there's no principal's office to sort it out. It's just your life now.
The safety net is gone.
And it leads to this exhausting, modern adult routine. Let's walk through this because it's so relatable. It starts with the morning alarm.
An attack on the soul.
Literally, the alarm goes off and you have a full logical debate with your heavy blanket about whether you really need to be an adult today.
The blanket makes a compelling argument.
It does. It's warm. It's safe. But then you grab your phone, the morning scroll trap.
Oh, looking at the phone is a fatal error.
You look at it for 5 minutes, and suddenly you feel restless and anxious because you're comparing your messy, groggy life to everyone else's curated highlight reel.
Which introduces the concept of mental laundry.
Mental laundry. I love this concept. Explain what that means.
Well, imagine a teenager's bedroom floor covered in scattered clothes.
Okay, total chaos.
Right. Now apply that to your mind. Before you even sit up in bed, your thoughts are scattered like those clothes. Emails, bills, conflicts. You're overwhelmed before the day even begins.
You haven't even had coffee, and you're already behind on folding your mental laundry.
Exactly. It's a massive cognitive drain.
So how do we survive this? Because we do survive, we find these little ways to cope.
We establish intentional anchors.
Like the barefoot piece. This is such a great phrase from the sources. The barefoot piece of coming home.
taking off the shoes at the door.
Taking the shoes off, changing out of stiff work clothes into soft home clothes, turning off the bright overhead lights and clicking on a cozy lamp.
You're creating a physical boundary against the outside world.
Yeah, sitting in a do not disturb reading corner, just claiming a tiny piece of peace.
Mm.
But it's not all quiet, right?
No, sometimes the anchors are chaotic.
Right. Like sitting down at a noisy dinner table where everyone is talking over each other,
Yeah.
or making a quick 10-minute phone call to your mom while you chop onions.
Even in the chaos, those social interactions serve to ground us. They remind us we are part of a human fabric.
Which I think brings us to the most existential question of this whole deep dive.
The big one.
Yeah. We look back at the kids we were, right?
Yeah.
The ones climbing trees and eating snow. Did we abandon our childhood dreams just to be practical?
The fate of childhood dreams?
Like, remember the dreams from the text? The kid who wanted to be a vet, walking around checking the dog's heartbeat with a toy doctor kit.
Or the astronaut with the room full of NASA posters.
Right. What happens to those kids? Why aren't we all astronauts and vets?
As the sources brilliantly put it, math happened.
Math happened. It's so true. The reality of the world just sort of crushes the dream.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's about the concept of apprehension.
Apprehension, like fear.
Yes, but people don't move away from their dreams in one dramatic moment of terror. It happens slowly. Life gets expensive. People start to depend on you.
And fear puts on a disguise.
Exactly. Fear can put on a very respectable outfit.
A suit and tie.
Right. Fear acts like a serious project manager. It holds a calendar and a 12-point spreadsheet, explaining logically why you shouldn't take a risk.
The economy is bad. You need health insurance.
Exactly. It distinguishes itself from genuine restraint. Genuine restraint is wisdom, but fear playing it safe to avoid discomfort. That's how you end up inheriting a life instead of choosing one.
Inheriting a life. Just walking the path society laid out for you. So what does this all mean for the listener? Should we all just quit our jobs in a dramatic, fiery resignation today? Toss the spreadsheets out the window?
Absolutely not. That's usually a terrible idea.
Okay, good to know.
Preparing beautiful, color-coded plans with zero action is just hiding. But reckless change out of burnout isn't the answer either.
So what's the middle ground?
The goal isn't to turn your life upside down. It's to have loyalty to your dream.
Loyalty to the dream.
Yes, you can't just blindly follow in someone's footsteps. You have to make sure you aren't weirdly absent from your own life.
Even if the dream changes.
Exactly. Maybe the childhood dream of being a rock star has shrunk. Maybe now you just want a life of peace in a small, creative space.
But you still have to work toward it with conviction. You can't just give up.
Precisely. You must stay loyal to whatever that core truth is.
That is, man, that's profound. Well, to wrap up this deep dive, I think it's safe to say that our journey from hiding in trees to hiding from our taxes is completely universal.
It's the shared human condition.
It really is. The memories of Grandma's kitchen, those awkward punk phases, the terrible school presentations, they aren't just nostalgia.
They are the anchors.
Yes. They remind us who we are underneath all that mental laundry of adulthood. Like the grandfather's wise advice from the text, do not rush, think first, act second.
A perfect summary of navigating adult life.
Right. And I want to leave you, the listener, with a final lingering question to ponder long after this deep dive ends.
Something to think about while you're folding your own mental laundry.
Exactly. Think about this. If the mundane moments of our childhood, like eating a boring cheese and tomato sandwich every single day, somehow became our most cherished nostalgic memories, how will you look back on your current life?
It's a great question.
50 years from now, will you look back at today's overwhelming, messy adult routine and feel incredibly nostalgic for the good old days that you're living right now?
Chances are, you probably will.
Something to keep in mind next time you're stuck in traffic. Thanks for diving deep with us today.